Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
Next in Iowa tonight, a spectacular fire continues to burn in Cedar Rapids. Are the Amana colonies for sale? The body of a drug agent is found after being buried alive next to this road.
I'm Maggie Jensen.
I'm Dave Shea. Well, those stories and more next on Iowa Tonight. A fire started by an overturned gasoline tanker in southwest Cedar Rapids is now under control. It started about 5 this afternoon when the tanker apparently lost its brakes at 6th Street and 66th Avenue Southwest. The driver escaped injury, but his truck and several cars have been destroyed by the flames, which are controlled just during the past hour. We have a two-part live report from the scene on the fire and on the city's preparations for coping with an incident of this kind. First, Debbie Bush, and how is the fire doing now, Debbie?
Well, no, the fire isn't burning right now. In fact, all you can see is just a pile of ashes. Well, the situation started when Joel Crumbaugh, he decided that he was going to fill up for gas over at Coralville. And when he was going to Cedar Rapids, he was coming down this road right here, 218, when he found out he didn't have any brakes left. District Fire Chief William Bennett says Crumbaugh then had to decide whether to go straight up the hill to reduce his speed or take the corner at 66th Avenue. As he swung around the corner, his vehicle turned over and hit a car.
The tanks ruptured and something ignited, and the gasoline ignited, and there you see it. The man got out.
The explosion of flames spread to nearby fields and also started 6 to 7 cars on fire. Officials have not been able to investigate other damage, although the semi has been declared a total loss at over $35,000 plus the gas. A nearby tavern sustained an undetermined amount of damage.
But I think all their reactions was to get away from there as soon as they could, because we was afraid of gas tanks blowing and what have you.
I think that if the cars hadn't been there, he probably would have been right in the building.
But we're just thankful that the driver's safe and all of us are okay.
And she was right. There were no injuries tonight, luckily. With us now is Beth Moore. Beth, how did the firemen finally get the fire out?
Well, Debbie, to put it simply, the firemen chose just to keep the fire cool by hosing it down with water. Now, some may wonder why the fire department didn't just use foam and smother the fire. You know, sometimes you see helicopters that drop foam on fires and everything. Well, the foam was used initially to smother a fire that started to spread north, but then firemen decided just to simply use water. Foam would have been used if the fire would have spread, but since it was concentrated in the tanker itself, firemen say the quantity of foam that could be applied was not enough to extinguish the fire.
The intensity of the fire didn't lend itself to the use of foam. The burn back rate on the foam was too great, and since it was staying in its container, we opted for allowing it to continue to burn.
Now, firemen did have a change of plans about 45 minutes ago, and in fact did decide to use the foam to put out the fire since they said it was mostly out. But firemen will stay around through the night to make sure that the fire doesn't start up again, and fire investigators will be here tomorrow to look for damage. I'm Beth Moore, along with Debbie Bush, live with the 2-Action camera in Cedar Rapids.
Okay, Beth, thank you very much.
Now for an update on that southwest Cedar Rapids fire. Foam trucks from the Cedar Rapids Airport are now being used to help put out that burning gasoline tanker truck. The truck was making a turn at 66th Avenue and Highway 30 Southwest at about 5 tonight when the brake lines apparently gave out and the truck overturned. The driver went into a nearby bar and the truck then started on fire. This video has just come back from a 2-Action News crew that was flying over the scene. The driver of the truck is identified as Joel Crumbaugh of Cedar Rapids. His age is not known. He is not hurt, nor is anyone else. Several other cars at the scene also are engulfed in flames.
Maggie, this is Wade Wagner live at the scene of the tanker truck fire in southwest Cedar Rapids. As you mentioned, about an hour and a half ago, that tanker truck made the sweeping turn on 66th Avenue, lost control, and flipped over and then caught fire in front of Donovan's Bar. With me live here is Dennis Zipp, who was a bartender in that bar. Dennis, can you tell me what happened when the truck flipped over from there? What happened then?
I was working, and all of a sudden I just heard a big bang and looked out the window, and he was tipped over on his side, and he was on fire already.
Now, that truck was carrying a full load of gasoline, and it tipped over probably 50 feet from the front steps of that bar. How many people were in there, and what was the reaction?
About 15. Everybody jumped up and looked out, and then we all run out the back door.
You feel lucky it wasn't worse than it was then?
Oh, yeah.
What did the driver do, and what happened after the flame started? Was there any danger at all that the gasoline was coming toward the bar?
He jumped out and he run in and said, call the fire department. Well, we already had that taken care of, and then we just got out, and that's it.
Everybody's extremely lucky. As we mentioned, nobody in the bar was hurt. The truck driver was apparently unhurt. He is in shock, however. There are about 50 firefighters at the scene. No firemen injured so far fighting the fire. Highway 218, we should mention, is blocked between Airport Road and Waconia Avenue. It will be blocked probably throughout the evening, so you want to avoid this area if at all possible when driving in Southwest Cedar Rapids this evening. Live with the 2 Action camera, this is Wade Wagner reporting in Cedar Rapids.